This is part 2 of the mounting block session that I'm doing with Odin the Mustang. I had successfully, in part 1, successfully had him stand right next to the mounting block, and I got on and we walked a few steps and then I got off. And so here I'm just checking to see if he wants to do it again. And again, this video is sped up about 2 times the normal speed. Otherwise, it's just really slow. And here again, I'm having to show him, here's what I want you to do when I tap your hindquarters. I'm using a dressage stick and I'm just tapping. I'm not whipping. I'm not making it painful at all. It's just a tap, just tap, tap, tap. I'm not increasing the pressure at all. I'm just using just a consistent tap, 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 tap until he does something. And what he's doing in this segment versus the first one is that he's responding a little bit more quickly. However, he's not particularly interested in doing that same lesson again, which is fair because previous to this, we spent a pretty good long time. And I don't like to drill. So I'm just petting him and he probably needs a break, so I'm going to give him one here in a minute. And he really likes his forelock and his forehead scratch, so here I'm going to ask him again, and he's basically saying no. And that's one of the things at Liberty is that they do have the option of saying no, and I'm standing on the mounting block kind of pondering my options at that point because I don't really want to escalate anything. I still want this to be an enjoyable lesson for him. And he's exploring with his mouth. He just wants a treat for doing nothing, and that's not how he gets a reward. It's just by... So, and there I fold my hands up because for one thing, I don't want him to poke and ponder. Poke at me, so I'm just removing the temptation. And he's distracted, he's looking away, so I was like, okay, well, I'll just sit here and I think he just wants some snuggle time, and of course he's still begging for treats, and I kind of popped him one when it looked like he was about to use his teeth on my hand, which is not acceptable. And he's distracted, so I'm just kind of looking around with him. I'm just being with him. This is what other trainers call 10-year-old girl training. It's just hanging out with your horse. And it's a nice spring day, so it's easy to just hang out with him. And since he's by himself now, he does need some attention in that way. You'll also notice that even though I'm not really riding, or I'm still wearing a helmet, just in case, because he is at Liberty. He only really has my voice and body cues to give him signals on what I want him to do. So we're just playing around a little bit, kind of playing kissy face and stuff like that. And I don't always recommend that you put your face near your horse's face, but I trust him, and he's being really relaxed, and that's not to say that he couldn't startle suddenly and whack my head with his big heavy horse head, which would have some consequences, but mostly we're just playing around. And again, this looks a little jerky because I did speed it up to twice the normal speed. And I'm kind of playing with him a little bit. He pushes me with his head and I push him back with my body. I'm thinking about ending the session here, so I'm doing where I stand up and I walk around him and give him the whole body rub. But what I end up doing is actually continuing on to part 3.